Hey everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA. Today we're going to be talking about selling a Signet Jewelry. So if you have a great product that's perfect for Signet Jewelry, this little training will give you some things to think about in regards to selling to them. With that said, let's get started on today's training. So let's talk about selling accessories to retailers. That includes your belts, your hats, your anything accessory related, fashion, whatever it is for the accessory market. We're going to be talking about that today. Once upon a time, I sold a lot of these to stores. I sold the high-end stuff. I sold the cheap stuff. So I just want to walk you through what to expect and how that looks, especially if you're trying to work with certain retailers that either fully sell only accessories or ones that sell one section of their stores versus all the different things. So fashion or non-fashion accessory products are tricky because they're cheap, they're easy to make a lot of times, or they're really high-end fashion. But the tricky part is a lot of people are selling them. So you're in a very competitive space. And so you're going to have a really great story coming into it, talking to these retail buyers who buy a lot of product. What I mean by that is if you're going to approach an accessory buyer with your product to, any sort of department store or any sort of retailer that has a lot of stores, you're going to have to come in with your coolest looking accessory you can fathom. I'm talking the one that's the most interesting, most innovative, the greatest one, right? Even if you sell, a hat, it better be your most exciting hat. They've seen a lot of hats. They've seen a lot of jewelry. They've seen a lot of things. And so for that, your story's got to be around your most exciting, interesting, and usually a lot of times it comes with trends, what's hot, what's coming up next for a lot of these types of accessories. So if you know your industry well, you know that they care about trends and what's coming up and what's cool colors, what's exciting, what's interesting. These are what buyers are looking for. So bring them the thing that's going to be the hottest, coolest thing. That's number one. That's going to differentiate you versus just showing them not necessarily just your best seller, because you need to go in unique for that type of category a lot of the times. Now, obviously, there's exceptions to the rules. Don't get mad at me if that didn't convert, but it is typically the way I would go if I was bringing something like an accessory to the world, because there's so many people like you. The second thing is you got to decide how you're going to sell the thing. Are you going to go sell it to, say, an Aldo stores versus high-end department stores versus discount and so forth stores? Do you want your product private labeled, meaning it's under their brand name versus your brand? It's going to depend on you and your personality. I'll walk you through some different ways to sell an accessory. Number one is if you want to sell a product to, say, a mid-tier retailer, they're basically have seen it all, so you got to come in with something new and exciting. You also need your manufacturing in place, and product pricing needs to be key there because they can create the accessory very simply, and so they're looking for trends and people who can have their manufacturer in place to be able to buy that product. So basically that means that you can't just make those products by hand. You need a manufacturer to be able to create products that will work for these fashion retailers on a larger scale. You can sell your handmade products, accessories to local stores, boutiques, mom and pop shops, or super high-end like retailers that are looking for one-off pieces, like sometimes Neiman Marcus and stuff like that. But most of the other world is looking for somebody who has a manufactured product because they want to buy products in quantity. So that's something to think about. If you're selling a product that could be workable for, say, a Ross stores or those types of stores, just be aware that they're always going to do it under their private label brand. Typically, never. They want new branded products a lot of the time. So what that means is they're looking for the brands to be placed on the accessory. So just be aware of that. You're going to have your an established brand for those Ross type stores. However, if you sell to and a lot of the other mid-tiers, they're okay with either you having a well-known brand or not. You can sell it to them under their private label brand. There's usually a buyer who buys either branded products or buyer who buys for private label, which just basically means that their name is on the packaging of your product, of your accessory. If you're okay with selling private label, there's a buyer who typically buys for the private label scenario. She only cares about you being able to mass produce the product. The product's a great price. You come up with new, interesting innovation. You don't care that your name's all over it. We made a fortune on accessories for the private label market. There's a lot of money in that. Unfortunately, if you have a really high-end product, there's not as many stores that you can sell to, and you make money on selling very few products, and so that's got to be really interesting and innovative. And so that's something to think about. And ultimately, when you're selling your accessory product, you could work with a distributor, but a lot of times there's so many retailers that are selling accessories that honestly, if you could find a product that is more mid-tier that you can sell either under your brand name, and when I say mid-tier, not super high-end or not handmade, somewhere where you've manufactured it, the pricing is pretty good. There's a huge, easier market for you. There's a lot more opportunities, a lot more stores that you can sell to, and ultimately, there's a lot more buyers. So when I'm looking at where I can sell stuff, I'm looking for where there's a lot of buyers who can buy things from me. And so that would be an easier way to go. Doesn't mean there's any other way. And also, if you're willing to not have your name all over the packaging, there's countless stores you can sell to, but you will have to have a nice branded imagery for the Ross stores of the world. And those are just the Rosses of the world are looking for sort of discounts of a branded product. So those are your discontinued items and so forth. But I'm going to assume that most of you who are checking out my channel are looking for just ways to make money that are beyond those types of stores for accessories. And so told you the direction I would go. If you want to learn how to approach, pitch, and sell to every type of these retailers, please go to retailmba.com. We are a consultancy. We are a coaching company. We teach you exactly what to do and how to get started today, even if you've never sold anything before, to the advanced seller. We also teach you how to work with distributors who can go after retailers for you. They just take a nice hefty fee, typically 20 to 30% of your money will go to them in some form. It varies, obviously, but that's usually where they're going with that. So if you want to learn how to just scale up and make some money on this product, we're happy to help. We also have a done-for-you service as well. Karen Waksman, Retail MBA, just wanted to give you some ideas on the accessory market. Thanks so much.